Welcome to the Alpha Primos podcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything, from touching grass to eating ass. Hey, I'm Juan Solo.
Amen to that. No meal is complete without a side of ass, part of a healthy breakfast. And I'm your morbidly obese friend, Paco.
And I'm JJ, part of your bowel and diet. That sounded better in my head.
Bowel ass diet.
Yeah, that one. And joining us, special guest.
Okay, let's go.
I'm Joe Rios, and I talk about anything that has to do with horror and true crime.
Right, you're a great fit with this bunch. But yes, in this
Is Columbo true crime? Because I've been watching a lot of Columbo.
I don't know about true crime, but it is a crime.
I mean, they're bringing back all the classic shows. They brought back Columbo, Magnum PI, and then the new one with Kathy Bates. What the fuck? Not
Matlock?
Matlock. There you go. They brought back Matlock. I was like, shit, man. These are going to be the shows when I'm in the fucking home. Matlock. Fucking Simpsons.
It's come full circle.
It has. I just want to know. I watched
Yeah,
all of Hawaii
yeah.
Five-0. That was actually good. That was, don't care what anybody says. Hawaii Five-0 is the shit. Makes me want to go to Hawaii more.
They also brought back Night Court.
Yeah, they did bring back Night Court. I remember that show.
I think that one's still on, but it's just quietly just there.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just exists.
I'm still, I think the best formula for TV shows besides The Simpsons for live action is Law and Order.
There's
That's just
only one
been
left.
They don't do a Special Victims Unit anymore.
That's the only one.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
What?
And I think they even dropped the Special Victims Unit. I think it's just called Law and Order now.
Oh, so they all just came together. So because I remember Law and Order, then SVU, then
They
Law
did
and Order
do-
Criminal Intent, and
They did
organized-
do like a fucking Avengers episode. I remember like seeing trailers for it where like
Yeah.
all of the Law and Orders had to team up, but like 3 of their shows had been off the air for like 5 years at that point. Like who gave
Yeah.
a shit?
Yeah.
and I think the Chicago shows do that too. Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago Blue.
One of the shows, Chicago joined Law and Order at one point.
They did.
We were just getting people everywhere. Because I remember I saw
Marvel
people
started
from other
something.
shows that I've never seen before. I'm like, where the hell did this guy come from?
Marvel started something. That's what Marvel did. I'm waiting for the day that all of these cop shows, all of these police procedurals come together in one big event. It's Chicago Fire, 911, 911 Austin, Law and Order, NCIS, fucking CSI. All of them just come together, and then like that one show from back in the day that everybody loved. Damn, what was the name of it? It's really old and it was like super Christian. White Picket Fences, I think was the name of the show.
Yeah,
It was like the pre-Seventh Heaven.
that was
It
a
was-
show. I never
yeah,
saw it. but
yeah.
It was like a pre-Seventh Heaven. It was like a pre-Seventh Heaven. I think it was called White Picket Fences. It was like a pre-Seventh Heaven, except the dad was a cop.
And are they trying to stop fucking Kingpin?
It's just pre. I was like, that should just be like the show that doesn't belong. It's just like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
Oh no, you know what? They should bring back that show Blacklist and have him be the villain.
Ooh,
That'd be
that show's still going on too. It's a
Yeah.
good show.
It is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still going on, but that's a really good show.
But
That-
CSI was the one that started all that crossover crap.
Yeah, but
Because I remember
CSI
watching it
still-
CSI in like Miami, and then all of a sudden they were in Vegas, and then they were in New York.
Yeah, NCIS followed suit after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, NCIS followed suit after that. Not all of them were good, but I did watch
NCIS Vegas. I thought this was fucking naval crime.
Like they have a base. Yeah, they got a boat. It's right next to the pirate boat, to the Pirate of the Caribbean's show. Just
No,
pulls
that
it,
is
never does.
that is the naval boat. It
That's
is
the naval boat, the Pirates of the Caribbean boat. That's their base. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how we start talking about spooky shit.
The real crime is how long it's taken us to get to the main topic.
God, what a segue. What a segue.
But yes,
that's how it ends up when I record with people too. We start off on the topic, and then by the end we're talking about whatever the hell else comes to mind.
Talking about pumpkin recipes by the end of the night. So don't throw away all the guts of the pumpkin. You grind all that up, you put it in some pie cups, and then you put marshmallow on it. God damn, you got a treat.
I actually got a recipe for pumpkin pie. About
See what I fucking tell you. They're like, speaking of, I got a great recipe. I'll give it to everybody at the end. It'll be in the comments. The recipe will be in the comments, guys. Be in the description.
But yes, we are talking horror movies.
All horror movies.
Yes, all of them.
Campy, weird, sadistic, fucking scary, and true.
Yep. I think the ones that are based on true stories are more scary than others.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Just because it adds that element of
Realism.
how much
It actually
artistic
happened.
liberty did they actually take.
Truth is stranger than fiction sometimes as well.
That is true. Like, for even though it didn't really happen the way the movie says it happened, but I remember as a kid for a long time I was terrified of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Dude.
Yeah. Driving to Mexico with my grandparents, like, you never know what house it was. It was like, could have been that guy right there.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't help that like Issa would tell me like, oh yeah, and they never caught that motherfucker. He's still out there.
I would be doing like the math, like at 9 years old, like he'd be like 70 something by now. He could probably still start a chainsaw and get somebody.
Do the math and then look at my grandpa like, no, he's still there. Look, grandpa still whooping us.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man, this is, I, it may be a bit of a hot take, but just, I actually thought the remake with Jessica Biel wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty good.
That one's good. That was the like first remake, right? They
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I'm trying to remember which one that one is because I've seen a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
The Jessica Biel, that was like 2000.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It was definitely in the early 2000s. But yeah, it was the first one of the I guess modern Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah,
Massacre
that
movies.
was the 2003 one.
Yeah,
And now it's a theme park. Now the house is a fucking theme park.
Yeah, that's basically what they've
Yeah, now I think what a friend of mine, her and her boyfriend went for like not like a honeymoon, but like a date night. I was like, damn, girl, y'all out there. But then like there's a lot of people that's what they like, so hey, go for it, right?
It's
The
really
fuck-
freaking shit, huh?
Restaurant there too, like a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, especially
I'm just
one of the
saying.
stories was that's how they won like the Texas State Fair or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't trust it. I'm just saying, man. History can repeat itself. I'm just saying.
You
What
get a
about
bowl of
more
chili
these
with
days?
like a toe in it.
Yeah.
Like Cartman.
Yeah.
Like pulling a Cartman. Fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
in the original one, since they had such a low budget, it was actually cheaper to buy like real, like entrails and shit and like real
Yeah.
things than it was to buy prop ones. So that house fucking stank.
yeah.
Now there's an actual restaurant in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not signing up for it. I'm sorry.
they did the same for. Is it Poltergeist the one where is it Poltergeist where she falls into like the pit and there's all those skeletons
Yes,
and like
yeah,
the water
it's
fight?
Poltergeist.
Yeah, those were real. Those were real skeletons.
Yeah.
Because it was like, yeah, like you said,
Because
it was
it's
cheaper
cheaper.
to
It's just
buy.
like, fuck it, bro. Just buy some corpses. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to the morgue. I got an account with them. I don't know what's more. I don't know what's scarier: the fact that you have an account with them, or that you know these things.
How easy would it be to actually buy a corpse?
I don't know.
It's because
Yeah.
there's those like because you can like donate your body to like science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they'll use a cadaver. Like the idea is they'll use the cadaver at like a college, for medical students. But the thing is, not all of them end up there. Some of
Yeah.
them can be used by law enforcement, where they'll just throw the corpse out in the wild, and then they just document it
Study the decay.
decomposing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that way.
Decomposition farms.
Yeah,
There's a couple
there you
in
go.
Texas.
And
I know military uses them as well for like testing. Not, I think firearms, or is it?
dude, they test their grenades,
Everything,
and stuff with them.
bombs,
Yeah,
and
no,
yeah.
if the military gets a hold of the corpse, it's gonna be blown to smithereens. Like
You're fucked.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like stumbling across
I renew my license.
a decomposition farm? Like just out for a hike. Just out for a hike and then you're just surrounded by bodies.
Oh,
Right.
dude, that would
Of all the farms for me to stumble upon, why not only the farm?
If I want to stumble across a decomposition farm, decomposition ranch, why not the bunny ranch? Just saying. Why not the bunny ranch? Please, Lord, why are you punishing me?
One of our friends actually buys corpses.
What?
Yeah.
We have a friend that, damn it. I'm going to cut off this friend. He's just like, hey, Paco, you're looking a little unhealthy there. Yeah. Organ donation card up to date. Why do you ask? You know, no reason. Just.
I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna put her name out there, but
Okay, yeah.
when we were coworkers with her.
God.
So
this
she
term.
moved on to a different job, and she's basically not necessarily a receptionist, but she handles a lot of like the office clerical duties and stuff at a neuroscience laboratory, and so
Oh.
organize their events and stuff. And she actually told me a story recently where she's like, "Yeah, I had to order a bunch of corpses for like the research that we do,
Yeah.
but we're neuroscience, so I specifically requested corpses with heads." And when they arrived, they were all headless. Like
Ah,
these were all a fucking.
what a mix up.
These were all a bunch of fucking headless horsemen that we got.
Can you imagine having to handle that customer service call? I
Yeah,
ordered a
shit.
dozen with heads.
All my corpses came without heads. What kind of business do you run? They give you a discount on the next order. I mean,
Why would I, a neuroscientist, order them without heads?
You know
This
what,
is
man?
the part that I study.
They just send you like a case of heads. Like,
we're sorry for the
we
mix.
sent you a couple extra for free in your case.
She's like the next month. She's like, you know what? We're sorry for that mix up last time. We're gonna send you a couple of entrails and organs. How's that sound? Yeah, sure, thanks. Just for the inconvenience.
Here's some spare eyeballs, like just in case.
Because you never know. You never know when you're gonna need a spare eyeball or two.
Yeah, but that was funny. That was just a funny story that she told me. Like yeah, that's weird. One, I didn't know that job existed, and
Yeah.
two, I didn't know that someone could fuck it up like that badly. The one part that you need is the
Be like, hey Jimmy, yeah, do these need heads? I don't know. It doesn't say on the sheet. Just send them whatever we got. All right, man. Got you.
It could have been a simple error. Like they checked marked head, but then someone spilled some coffee.
yeah.
Like say with or without heads. I can't see that.
Can't see that. You know what? We'll just send them what we always send them.
We're gonna roll the dice. Send them the minivan that was in the same accident.
For Bad Boys 2.
All right. Let's wrangle this back into
horror
movies.
It's a horror movie.
Jeez, guys, it's just we hope this is still entertaining.
Like hurting cats.
What's the weirdest horror movie you guys have seen?
I got one. Y'all know which one I'm going to talk about. Poultrygeist.
Poultry guys.
Poultrygeist is still hands down the weirdest one because it wasn't really scary as much as it was funny. There's a lot of horror movies out there that sometimes, like Poultrygeist, I think is intentionally supposed to be funny. But there are those other ones that you just laugh because that's hilarious. I don't even know why I should have laughed at that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a horror movie, but the face of the old man still sticks in my head, and it's a old movie, I think from 89 maybe, or 90, 91.
Sorry, dog went ape.
Let me look it up. It's got Dan Aykroyd in it and Chevy Chase. I do remember that. Nothing But Trouble. That's what it is. Nothing But Trouble.
Dan Aykroyd wrote and directed.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I still don't know what the fuck it's about, but I remember they told me it was a horror movie. I'm like, are you sure?
It's interesting. The movie is interesting in the sense that, like, a lot of people up until that point gave Dan Aykroyd a lot of credit because, like, he's in Blues Brothers, and Blues Brothers was, like, his idea. Ghostbusters was his idea. And so when that movie came out, everyone's like, this is going to be great because, like, it's his singular vision. No one's fucking with it.
Yeah.
And then they saw it and they're like, you know what? Maybe he does need someone to like rein him in and be like, bro, that's too out there. Like, let's pull this back.
Yeah, that one I remember, and I think one of the reasons I remember is because there's a scene where they're sitting at the dinner table, and they have the little train, the little choo-choo train that brings around the sausages, and I don't know why I still think about that. Like, you know what? I want a choo-choo train on my dinner table that brings me food. Like I said, it was just one of those super weird movies. If you've never seen it, I always suggest people just kind of watch it. If you're gonna watch it with friends. Get high if you're gonna watch it. I didn't watch it high because I was a kid, but it's just one of those weird movies. And then of course, Poultrygeist. Poultrygeist is basically just they turn into chicken zombies, kind of thing. It's fucking hilarious. It's trying to be scary, but it's not. And that's another one I suggest to watch. It's one of those movies that I think you should watch because I know there's people that do the horror movie marathons and stuff. And I always feel like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but I think you should have something in there to just kind of change it up a little bit. Throw those two movies in there. And then there's a Japanese one that I still don't know the name of it. I don't think I'm ever going to find it. But towards the end of the movie, one of the characters transforms into Sailor Moon. Do with that information what you will.
I think I got a good movie for the weird ones. The one about the sentient tire that goes around just blowing people's heads up.
That was a weird one, but that one was funny too. When I saw that, I was like, "The fuck is this? Wait, this is about a tire? No fucking way!"
Yeah. And then, like, didn't he have like a kid that turned out to be the little tricycle? That was supposed to be his kid, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That kind of reminded me.
It was just a weird one.
For me, I think it's House, which is a old
Japanese one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw that like last year. There was a cidery by my last apartment, and for Halloween, like every Wednesday, or for October rather, every Wednesday they would show a horror movie or horror-ish movie. Like they showed The Craft once. I think that's really scary. But
that's just, whenever you watch The Craft, it's just because you're there to appreciate the beauty of goths.
Yeah.
Gotham in particular.
Like, I'll watch anything with Fairuza Balk.
Yes. That's just to, like, hey, Fairuza's in this movie. I'm going to watch it. Why? Because it's Fairuza.
One, I like cider. Two, Spicy Boys is it's a fried chicken sandwich food truck, but it's really, really good. It's like probably top 5 chicken sandwiches. But yeah, they showed House one time, and I had heard about it before. I know that, like, it was inspired by, like, a 5-year-old girl or something. Like, she kind of came up with the idea, and the dad was like, yeah, we can film that. Like, we can do this.
Make this work.
And you can kind of tell that, like, the plot was written by a kid because it just jumps all over the place. Like, it was really hard to follow. And I watch a lot of anime. I'm used to following weird crap, but, like, this movie just goes all over the place. The basic premise is that it's kind of like the House on Haunted Hill, where, like, this house is haunted and it just draws people to it for revenge, I guess. And these, like, 5 high school girls go to this house, and fucking ghosts and demons start attacking them. There's no Sailor Moon chick, but one of the chicks, like, is a karate champion. So she actually, like, throws hands with one of the ghosts for a while.
Yes.
That part was pretty cool.
Yes.
But
she dips her hands in holy water. No, she dips her hands in holy water. And she just starts going to fucking town.
These are Shinto demons. I don't think holy water is
I was gonna go into all of her rings and everything are just made out of iron. That, like, supernatural. They just kill everything with iron, like ghosts and shit.
and salt.
Yeah. So, they're like
But no,
sluts.
yeah, it's a wild movie. I would, recommend it to people if they just want to balls without having to
Without
partake.
acid.
Yeah. Glenn, what about you? So
All
weird.
right. For weird, it's because you have some, like, horror movies, but they were clearly meant to be, like, comedies. You got like your Velocipaster, Ghost Shark,
The Substance.
Yes, I haven't seen that movie yet, so I can't comment on it.
Would it be considered one of those funny horror movies?
I mean, I would say no, just because it plays it so seriously. The premise is kind of funny.
Like,
But-
I laughed at Hereditary, but I'm not supposed to laugh at it.
God.
Because those movies are like, what horror movies do you like? Oh, the STD horror movies? The what? Or you fuck a dude or a chick, and they, instead of giving you STDs, they give you Ghost.
It passes. But yeah, then also like the ABCs of Death. Some of the sketches are
Yeah.
in those.
I
are
completely
pretty
forgot
funny.
about those.
Yeah,
I saw both of them. They came out with the sequel.
Dang, I didn't even see the second one. I only saw the.
Wait, the ABCs is, I thought, wait, that's supposed to be funny?
No, you're
Some of
thinking
them are.
Faces
Some of them.
Some of them are, oh, okay, because I thought those were the ones that they gave, like, different directors, like, a letter and that, right? Okay. Okay, cool. I was like, aren't those supposed to be, like, hella scary? Like,
No, like some of them are creepy, but there's other ones that it's like they're like we didn't know what to do with the letter, so they just made a comedy.
Fair point. Fair point.
Dogfight
Dogfight.
from ABCs of Death.
Oh, okay.
It was literally a guy who was just fighting dogs.
All right.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, until he comes across, like, I guess his dog that got taken away,
Mm-hmm.
and then him and his dog just turn on the guy who's organizing the event.
Okay.
That's just animal justice right there.
Mhm.
It's just
So I didn't want to name like some of those because I feel they're comedies. I did want to stick to just the horror. And the only one that came to mind is a movie called Teeth.
yeah.
I've heard of that movie.
I've seen that movie.
And you know what? Like we just gotta rip the band-aid. You just gotta come out and say the premise, and that's already gonna make people go, wait, what? So the movie Teeth is a horror movie about a chick with a toothed vagina. Yes, you heard that correct.
Scary teeth.
And that's the movie.
That's the gist of it.
And yeah, and I don't recommend it. Let me be upfront about that. It's
That's the movie poster.
like, yeah, it's
Are you
not
saying
a
you don't
good.
recommend being with a woman with a tooth of vagina, or
I don't recommend that either, but I also don't recommend they watch the movie.
That's sexist.
It's just not a good movie. It's weird and a weird premise, and if memory serves correctly, I think the movie is like played straight. Like it's never like a moment where like, oh, you're supposed to find this funny like you would those other movies I mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's why I would just chalk that one up as that. Like, no, yeah, it's just a weird movie. All in all, premise aside, even just the story, just weird. But yeah, that would be my pick for weird.
okay?
Yeah,
That's
that
a good
would
one.
be a
That's a
weird
good
one.
one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's a good one. So, like, my cousins, our other cousins from Fort Worth, they make fun of me because I don't like horror movies, and mainly there's certain ones that I don't like. Like, I'll watch a slasher horror movie, like Friday the 13th, Leprechaun, Mike Myers, Scream. Though I'll watch like these slasher horror movies. I'll watch
More like-
zombie movies, and I'll watch like monster movies. And my cousin asked me, she's like, Issa was like, why do you watch those, but you won't watch something like The Nun or something like It Follows or shit like that? And I was like, because there's other ones I can fight. I'm gonna die, no shit, but I can fight. I have a chance. Like I can fight it. I can beat its ass. I can't beat the Nun's ass. Like I can't beat Veronica. Like I have no chance there. Like doesn't matter what I do, it's taking me or it's killing me. But like the slasher ones and the ones that really freak me out because I don't think they're considered horror movies, but like certain alien movies scare the shit out of me. The Fourth Kind, I couldn't sleep for days after watching The Fourth Kind. Dude, I used to live in a house that had two fields, one empty field next to me and the empty field across from me. Signs and Fourth Kind, I could not sleep for days. These bags are the fucking reason for that because it scared the shit out of me. I really thought they're coming.
What about Fire in the Sky?
I don't remember that one.
That's
Oh,
the one that
that's
has
the
like,
one with
the
the-
actual abduction.
There's another one that did kind of scare me, but after it didn't so much scare, but the suspense of it, it's called The Forgotten. It's got what's her name? She's one of the redheads. She was in Julianne Moore, I believe. The premise of the movie is this woman. It starts out with like she has these memories of these kids, and then as the movie progresses, it's like, oh no, you don't have kids. You never had kids. That's not real. And then I mean, I'm gonna give it away if I continue, but watch it. And then there's some really freaky shit that happens, and like the ending kind of wraps up kind of okay. If they would have went in a different route, it probably would have had more legs to it, but it didn't. But it was a weird one, and that was one of the movies that scared the shit out of me too for a little while. But yeah, so my genres that I don't like really are psychological, some ghost movies I don't like because again, I can't fight it. I can't do nothing about it. So like that's like what's the one with the one with
If
Ryan
you're
Reynolds?
ever in Paranormal Activity, you could just have chairs.
There's a bed, anything like that. There's another one. There's another alien movie that it's not scary. It's an alien movie, so I don't think you could put it in the horror genre. but it's got the scary elements to it. It's got Kerry Russell in it, and there's certain scenes where they like go to sleep and then they wake up and everything's upside down and the chairs are hanging from the ceiling, kind of stuff like that. So I guess that leads me to believe, like, what is something that you guys as horror movies are like a no, like I'm not watching that, or this isn't for me?
It's kind of the reverse of yours, but Ari Aster's movies don't really work on me. A lot of people are really into those movies because they're slow and he built suspense and everything. Like, I watch them and I'm like, yeah, no, I get it, but like, I'm not scared. Like, it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I laughed at Hereditary and I laughed at fucking, what's the Midsummer? Like, I laughed when the old people.
Midsummer.
Like, that was funny. Yeah, those movies just, like, for whatever reason, they don't hit with me. So, but in terms of something that, like, really, really scares me, it's probably Aliens more than anything.
Amen.
Like, yeah.
They scare the shit out of me, too.
Everything else I can pretty much deal with, yeah.
For me, it'd have to be, like, the Saw franchise. I've watched them all, but they're just... Yeah. I'm like,
oh,
okay,
that doesn't scare you?
Yeah, it's like... It doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
That does scare me, and the only reason it scares me because I feel like there is an old man out there that if I talk wrong to, that's the only. Even though, like, for most of the traps, there's like simple solutions if you think about it, but because you're all freaking out, you end up dying. But that one does kind of scare me in the way of just like, man, I should be nice to people on the fucking streets because I don't know which one of these dudes is gonna go psycho on me.
Are gonna turn out to be the pig face.
Yeah, so the Saw ones don't work.
Not only that, dude, he's got like fucking 12 different apprentices that don't know each other.
There's always somebody else to take his place.
Some twist.
The ones that actually kind of scared me are gonna be like some of the ones from The Conjuring. The original, the first one, actually made me jump a little bit. Yeah. But those are ones that I always have on repeat, though. So I watch those.
I do like
continuously.
The first one a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me too.
Oh.
So for the like, not a big fan of it category to lead off the Saw comments. I like the Saw movies. I do like the Saw franchise. I'll admit some of the later ones aren't that good. But as far as like what really doesn't do it for me in horror is the torture porn gore movies. I don't know how to call something kind of like Hostel and stuff like that.
The Green
like
Inferno.
those. Yeah.
Green Inferno.
Actually, I think it was the same guy, Eli Roth. I think he did that one
it's
too.
the same dude.
So
He's got
like
a thing for torture porn. So
a lot of those they don't really do it for me. But it's like, wait a minute, didn't you just say you like Saw? Yes, but it's different. In Saw, there's actually a story.
Yeah.
In Hostel, it was just like, you're a tourist? Cool. No one's going to miss you.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's Hostel scared me just for the sole factor. Like, I'm never going to Eastern Europe. I have no money to travel. God knows my ass isn't going to Eastern Europe just because, like, I'm fat and soft, and they're going to be like, you know what? You'd be tasty. You son of a bitch. But that one just scares me just because that one makes me feel like again with Saw, like it's real. That could happen to you because it's steeped in that little bit of real. Because there are those fucking psychos out there. It's like there's probably all kinds of abandoned shit out there that they could host these fucking parties and weird stuff that they do.
Well, that's
the element in the movie that scares me.
That like everything that's happened recently in the media, right?
Yeah,
it's all because they're super rich people, and that was the whole premise of the Hostel movies is that they were super rich. And they were just bored and they wanted something to do. So like, how many like super billionaires have their own islands? You know, you never know what could happen.
Baby oils, all the baby oils.
The thing is, 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yeah, if you see somebody buying your baby oil, stay far away.
Did y'all hear that it wasn't like regular sized bottles?
Yeah.
Like, it was like 1,000-liter bottles of baby oil.
How many babies did he have?
So baby oil is not made from babies? There's a horror movie somewhere.
That's where Ashes has fucking babies, man.
There's a horror movie in there somewhere. In those lines of dialogue.
But to answer the question on like what scares me, I think anything dealing with Satan, the devil, and curses.
Yeah.
Any of that, no, that's scares the shit out of me.
That's fair. Yeah, like curses are very. Curses
Satan to
Satan.
hell one time, and I was like, "That's enough."
Yeah, no thanks.
Oh, I remember that movie. Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell was one of the funniest horror movies I've ever seen. The talking goat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one thing everybody brings up, the damn goat.
It was so out of left field that it just started talking.
it's not the only movie that's done that. The Son of Sam movie, The Summer of Sam.
Yeah.
The Son of Sam killer, like, he famously said that like it was his neighbor's dog that like drove him to kill. Like,
Yeah.
he was delusional, and he was imagining that the dog was talking to him, or he claimed the dog was talking to him and commanding him to kill, and the dog was like Satan itself. So in the Son of Sam movie, in Summer of Sam, they show him like, you know, like in the Shinji pose, just like, voices, stop it, leave me alone. And a German Shepherd comes up to him, and then it fucking talks like Scooby Doo, like it starts moving its lips, and it just like throws you off of it.
So that's where Pickles came from.
So like for all the tension that they were building in that moment, the second the dog talks, it's like it's all gone.
That's where the idea for Pickles, the
the
show
Mr.
came from.
Pickles?
Oh my god, that damn cartoon.
That leads me to
Completely
this.
forgot about that.
So that leads me to this question. I'm not going to be able to answer it because I just don't look forward to horror movies. I just watch them because, you know, they're like, you're going with us. Like, all right, fine. But what out of all the horror movies you've seen, which one has disappointed you? Like it was built up, or you built it up. You're like, dude, this is going to be a really good horror movie. And then you go and watch it, and it's like, what the fuck was that? What did you do to me? Like, what's your disappointing horror movie?
I already got one in mind. The Devil Inside.
It sounds like a porn. That sounds like some kind of fringe porno that you're watching.
It was built up so much that I was like, oh, this is the movie that the Vatican doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
It was like based in Rome. They had a website you can go to and everything. And the whole movie was just disappointment.
Bullshit.
But there was one redeeming factor, and it was only in theaters. You had to have been there in theaters to see this redeeming factor.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the movie was over, the audience I was with, one of the guys was like, that sucked more dick than my mom. Horror movie I've ever seen.
That's so hilarious. That's
why anytime anyone says like, what was a disappointing horror movie? I'm like, The Devil Inside, but there was one redeeming factor. And you had to have been there for that moment.
It's one of those. Okay, that's fucking great. And I have a follow-up question once y'all named yours. I have a follow-up, but
Okay.
who's next?
I got one that's very recent, but if you want to go, Juan, if you got
No, you go, because I'm still thinking.
Okay, so for me, I've made jokes about The Substance, but I wasn't really hyped for The Substance. And really, it's only at the end where it kind of loses its shit and becomes closer to like a trauma movie. But my real answer would be The Last Halloween. Halloween Ends. Because I didn't see the second one. I didn't see that one until like recently, until like last week, I think. So I hadn't seen Halloween Kills, but I saw the first one, the first reboot of these last 3 reboots that they've done. And that one was really good. I was like, they got Jamie Lee back, and like, she blew up the fucking house. Like, that guy's over. Like, this is good. And then they made 2, which I missed for whatever reason. But they announced 3, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I'll go watch it. Like, I don't think I really need to watch 2. People said that it was kind of and I think it's only because the ending of 1 was so good that, like, yeah, you're gonna fuck up 2 no matter what you do. But 3, I'll give a shot. And no, it's trying to do this thing where like the evil of Michael Myers is really like the society, like makes him Michael Myers. But at the same time, it was also like, but also Michael Myers is magic and he can pass on his evil to other people's. Well, which is it, dog? Like, it can't be both. You can't tell me that, like, no, society made Michael Myers this way. And then also tell me, but the devil is in Michael Myers and he can send the devil magically to some other dude.
That part of the movie reminded me of that Denzel Washington movie where he fights a demon. Denzel Washington's an investigator, and he's like looking for this killer, and there's gonna be spoilers. But the killer, every time he dies, if he touches a person or an animal, he transfers himself. That's what that ending part of Michael Myers felt like to me. It's like, so is it? And I think it's Azrael. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Azrael. So I was like, is that what it is? Is that like this is how they're going to continue it? It's just he's just going to pass on to somebody else. That's what that part that you're talking about reminds me of. That movie. I don't remember the name of that Denzel movie. Now,
Which one you were talking about? But I
damn it.
I gotta say, we're gonna scroll a lot.
Fallen.
Fallen.
Yeah, Fallen. It's a '98 film. Yeah, Fallen. That's the name of the movie. So, guys, check that out. Yeah, that was like the crux of the movie of that one, anyways. All right.
Do you have an answer, Quinn?
Yeah.
He's like, I got several.
If I think of a better one, I'll be sure to mention it like just like super quick. But I guess just for now, the one that pops in the head, and we mentioned it earlier, I'll go with It Follows.
Okay.
Mainly because I like the premise of it. It's a monster thing that can turn into a person, and it follows you, right? And that's all it does. It just walks towards you. That's its only goal. It's that snail hypothetical.
God damn it! I was about to say that.
That's
you let it get 5 feet within you, and you're like, "Where are you going? On a plane to Spain? It's gonna have to walk to me."
And so I just felt like there was a lot they could have done with it, and I think the movie, for me at least, I think it just fell a little flat. It could have done a lot more with the premise, with the shape shifting aspect of it. And so I'll say that, and it's just mainly just that I think it could have done a little bit more.
Okay, so that's a good choice. Now my follow up to that one is which one pleasantly surprised you that you didn't go, maybe you didn't go watch it in theaters, or you're just like, this is gonna be fucking stupid. This is my expectations are set so low for it, but it pleasantly surprised you. You're like, holy shit, this was amazing. What movie is that for you guys? I don't really have a movie. I think one of the few, like I said, I've only watched very few, and one that I didn't. It's not horror. It's more of like an action, or it's more of a suspense horror, and that was The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. That one, I really didn't know what to expect, because I thought that was going to be like a legit like horror movie, but it was more of like the suspense kind of horror, a suspense kind of horror. And that one did surprise me, and I was like, "Wow, I liked this movie. It was a good one."
That have to agree with you on that one, Paco.
Yeah,
because like anytime a horror movie comes out, I'm usually the first one to talk about it, and I'm usually one of the first people there. Like for the what was the one that just came out? Like the Exorcist.
Beginnings, or
yeah, the one with the 2 girls.
Yeah,
I saw it 3 months before it came out in theaters.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh dang. Somebody got access. Ooh.
Pre-screening for that movie, and I was like, "That's going to be an amazing fucking movie." I liked it. Mm-hmm. I really liked it a lot. They did a lot of throwback to a lot of the original scares, which I really appreciated about it. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen it since then. I haven't seen what they changed, because even the director was there. Who's like, "This isn't the final version. We're going to change some things when it actually hits theaters."
Choose your own adventure.
I haven't seen it since then.
So now you still remember what happened. So now it's like, well, I got to go watch it again to see what changed.
Yeah. But I would have to agree with you. Black Phone was one that pleasantly surprised me, like you said, because
I still know what to expect.
I saw the premise of it, and I was like, it looks like it's going to be too slow of a burn for me. I'm not going to watch it. And then I was here at the house one day. I saw it. It was on one of my recommended. I watched it. I was like, this is actually a pretty good movie.
We saw it in theaters. Yeah, we saw it in theaters. I didn't know what to expect. That's why I chose that, because I really didn't know what to expect. So, like I said, I'm not super into horror, so my expectations are low on anything regardless. But that one, like I said, pleasantly surprised me, and it kept me really engaged. That was something that, and there've been a couple of movies lately that had not really kept me engaged, but that one I was like, yeah. So those are mine. JJ?
I kind of have 2 answers, because they're not really super. Oh, what were you
going to say, Joe?
I was going to say they're coming out with the part 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
Can there be a part 2 to that? Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. He dies at the end, but like I was Googling the movie about it, and it was like, oh, part 2 in production. I was like, what?
Okay,
He died.
Yeah, we'll
So
see.
I'm interested to see if they
It's
continue it.
Fallen again. That's what it is. The sequel is The Fallen. It's Denzel Washington. JJ.
So my answer, like honestly, it would probably be like The Conjuring if we wanted like a serious like horror movie answer. But there were 2 like kind of action horror movies that have really, really surprised me. One of them, the most recent one, is Abigail.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hadn't even heard of Abigail. Like I never saw a trailer or anything, but my roommate played it on a streaming site, and I was like, "Well, what are you putting on?" Abigail. I heard it was really good, and I was like, "Okay, never heard of it." Sat down and watched it. So like I watched it, I guess, in like the perfect circumstances because the cover and all the marketing material gives away like the quote unquote twist of the movie. But me not knowing anything was like, shit, there's fucking monsters in here. Cool. But yeah, it was a really good movie, really well written. The only thing that it really has working against it is that like if you already know the twist going in, the first like half hour feels kind of pointless because like you already know. Like
Okay.
the movie was written for that to be a surprise, and
Yeah.
all of the marketing and everything spoil the surprise. So like that first 30 minutes feels really slow and really boring. The other one that's kind of in the same vein because it's more of an action movie is Ready or Not with Samara Weaving.
Oh,
That
okay.
movie is fucking dope. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just like the premise of that movie is that she's gonna marry into a family that it's like the Parker brothers. They make all the fucking board games and stuff, and they have this tradition where every time one of them gets married, they have to play a game. And the one that you don't want them to end up playing is hide and seek, because that means that everyone has to try to murder the bride.
Fuck. What a way to bond. What a way to fucking bond there.
You find out that the family is only successful because they made a deal with the devil. So the devil's like, you have to play a game, and the hide and seek is the sacrifice to me. Like that's what you. That's the payment.
Okay.
So yeah, and the movie's just her being chased down by like these fucking lunatics, and you're like, well, and you're strapped in for the ride. Like that one, the twist happens really early on, so like even though I kind of spoiled it right now, like by the time the movie
spoilers
starts,
I haven't seen it.
even if you spoiled it, that still is really good. Like that still makes me want to watch it. Like, okay, I'll watch that.
It's not like
Your movie.
the first 15 minutes, like when the movie opens, they're already like getting married. I think like it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's already like you don't have to sit through a fucking engagement. Yeah, they're pretty much married. Like it's the day of, and then the night they have to play the game. But yeah, both of those are really cool, and they really surprised me. Like went in with no expectations. And
Ready or Not
actually
is
really
a
cool.
really good movie. I really like that one.
Yeah. Got Samara Weaving,
guess-
one of what's her name's twin sisters. I fully believe she's a clone. What's her name? God. Barbie. Margot Robbie.
Margot
Robbie.
Yeah, she's the Margot Robbie's and Samara Weaving. What's her name from her? My Name is Earl.
Jamie Presley.
Jamie Presley, and then there's another one. They're all just clones. I fully believe that they're all just clones. They're all just clones with a slight genetic mix-up. Juan, what about you?
All right. My pick is this movie's actually in like my top 5, top 10 horror movies like ever. So I'm gonna go with The Strangers. I didn't expect too much going into it, and then I left going, this is probably one of the better horror movies in these past like 10 years. Even to this day, it still scares me, and it stuck with me mainly because both of my parents worked, so we were home alone a lot.
Yeah.
And this is a movie where that's the horror. You're alone. No one can help you. And that movie still holds up. That one, I think it's a good like almost like entry level horror movie. Like
Entry level for me was Evil Dead, the Bruce Campbell one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that one's also good.
that one I just recently saw, like maybe a year or two ago. I'd never seen it.
Oh well, you were there when I showed it to.
Yeah.
my
I saw
wife.
I saw the play because they had like a musical.
Yeah.
And I saw that before I saw the actual movie. So when I saw the movie, like I expected it to be some, because it's Bruce Campbell, and I am a huge fan of Bruce Campbell, and I love what he does. So when I started watching it with you guys, I didn't expect it to be like a legit horror. I thought it was going to be like some fun campy. I was like, oh my God, no, this is real. This is an actual horror movie. Oh, shit.
You mentioned Bruce Campbell because I'm wearing the shirt.
Lovely shirt. Yeah, but that would be my introduction, I guess. Would be like Evil Dead until like start watching more horror. But yeah.
So on that line, what movies turned you on to horror? Like, what was y'all's first horror movie?
Well, nothing's turned me on to horror because fuck that. So I'm out of the running already. I'll just say probably. I'll just have to go with Evil Dead.
For me, it was The Nightmare on Elm Street. I was like 5, 6 years old. That was the first horror movie I'd ever seen. By the time I was like 10, I'd watched every single one that I could get my hands on.
Fuck you.
Does Jaws count as a horror movie?
Yes. Jaws counts.
Yeah.
The whole ocean is a goddamn horror movie.
You never seen a horseshoe crab?
Because it's Jaws. It was either Jaws or Child's Play. It was one of those two.
Okay.
And
Well, fuck both
también,
those
it was
movies.
like 6 years old or something. I remember it was like mom was watching it like on Canal 5.
The greatest channel, the greatest Mexican channel ever is Canal 5. Fight me on that.
La Estrella.
No, bro. Canal 5 because they showed Dragon Ball.
Mexico, where my family's from, that was Canal 5.
Yeah.
Well, you're from the same area we are.
Then I don't know how it was different then. Maybe my TV was fun.
Maybe we had bootleg TV. The bootleg ass TV, that's why. JJ, what about you?
For me, it would probably be the Halloweens, the original two. I know that fucking is it John Carpenter who directed?
Yeah, I think it's John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter.
I think he has like a movie box account, and he'll review some of like his old movies and stuff.
Nice.
I saw that. He was shitting on it.
Shits on his own
Shit on
movies.
Halloween 2, like
On 2,
nobody's
yeah.
business. Me too, and 2 is the one that like I think I saw them out of order, so I saw 2 first. So I have a fondness in my heart for 2.
Yeah.
And then he was like shitting on, and I was like, well, I mean, he fucking made the thing. I guess he's right.
Well, was he talking to it like, God, whoever directed this fucking movie, fucking sucks. How would he make that decision? It's like, it's you. Shut up. I know.
I think for him, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because the original idea for Halloween was that it was like an anthology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every movie was going to be different, but the first one did so good. They're like, no, we need a direct sequel, especially because it ends on like a
Cliffhanger?
not a cliffhanger, but like
Yeah.
there could be a continuation.
Right.
So then he has to make the sequel that he doesn't want to make, and then okay, now here's the third one. Now I can do what he originally wanted to do, but people were upset because they're like, hey, where's Michael
Where
Myers?
the fuck is Michael Myers?
Yeah. So I don't blame him for having some like hatred for
Some feelings.
the second. Yeah. Maybe it's not so much he hates the film, but just all the shit that happened. Like,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this one isn't really a horror movie, but it does have horror elements, and there are things about it that still freak me out. The Terminator. The Terminator.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary if you think about it. Like
Which Terminator? Are we talking about Terminator 1 or are we talking about
Terminator 1.
Liquid Metal Terminator? What's
Well,
his
I
name?
mean-
Robert Patrick.
The T-1000 is also terrifying, but
Dude, you played that great because that is fucking terrifying. That still haunts
he played
nightmares.
it so good that they keep asking him to play the T-1000.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time he's like makes a cameo somewhere, they're like, "No, do the T-1000 thing." He's all old and fat now.
His brother is the lead singer of whoever, I forget the name of the band that does Hey Man Nice Shot. Is it Fuel?
Fuel,
Don't they do Hey Man Nice Shot? That's the name of the song.
I guess.
But I think Robert Patrick's brother is is like either a guitarist or the singer of that group.
I'm just gonna take your word for it. They've gone through a shit ton of members.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but Terminator would also like freak me out. But you know, a lot of people don't really consider it a horror, so that's why.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. Filter is the name of the rock band, and Richard Patrick, he's the lead singer.
Filter.
Yeah, Filter is the name of the group. Filter.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Oh.
yeah, T-1000 is super terrifying, and so is Arnold Schwarzenegger is just super terrifying.
Yeah.
If that man didn't laugh or was like happy, that dude's terrifying.
Yeah.
So, transitioning from movies, were there any shows that freaked? For me, I think it was probably. I mean, I watched all those shows too. I watched, you know, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, and Eerie and Tales from the Crypt. But I think the big one for me was probably the X-Files.
Really, X-Files. See, X-Files wasn't scary to me. X-Files was more suspenseful, and they had to do with aliens.
I got
No, that
really,
theme song alone, dude.
Yeah, no,
me.
That is a classic horror theme song. Okay, I can give you that. All
It
right.
always freaked me out, like as a little kid. But for a while, like maybe when I was like 10, 11, I got real deep into the X-Files, man. Like I was watching it every Sunday after The Simpsons. Let's go.
Well, you know what horror movie TV show that I caught myself watching that I never thought I would watch? It's on Paramount. Evil.
Evil.
It's got Luke
Oh,
Cage in it. It's
okay.
got Luke Cage in it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually pretty good.
Yes.
And I didn't think I
Evil.
would. It's because it's got some humor in it, but the show itself is actually really good. And I didn't think I would start watching it. I caught a clip of it on TikTok, and I was like, "What
Yeah,
the fuck is this? This is actually." And of course I go into the profile to look up more clips. I was like, "This is actually pretty good. What is this?" And then when I read the comments, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go find it." It's actually like pretty good. If you guys don't have Paramount, JJ, why not let you use mine?
That's
So, I have
Paramount. He's like, "You have Paramount." Yeah, but Evil's actually a really good one. And for like comedy horror, there's one on Prime that's well, it's not really horror, but it's Nick Frost. It's like a paranormal show. So I guess I wouldn't really call it horror. It's more paranormal. But it's like a humorous paranormal thing. It's got Nick Frost in it. It's on Prime. I can't remember the name of it. Let's see.
Tales from the Badlands.
Truth
I like
Seekers.
Hey, Badlands is a good show. Truth Seekers, yeah, there it is. Badlands was a good show. Martial arts, Nick Frost was dope.
Too bad they didn't continue it. I watched that one. Like,
I
they
wanted
did
them to continue. I was
it-
like,
they did
man.
like one season and that was it. And
No,
it
they did three.
was pretty good.
They have 3 seasons. Into the
3
Badlands?
seasons.
No, to the
Truth Seekers.
Into the Badlands. I was like, no. Into the Badlands.
Yeah, they did like 3.
They should continue into the Badlands. But yeah, Truth Seekers, yeah, they only have the 1 season, but I thought it was pretty good. And there's a movie on Hulu. I can't think of the name of it for the life of me, but it has to do with there's like a werewolf in town and the werewolf's killing people. And there's a sheriff that doesn't know about, like, everybody kind of keeps it a secret. I don't remember the name of it.
It's Silver Bullet?
Maybe because it's comedy
Nah.
and a black guy is the lead. Dang it, I can't remember his name.
And Silver Bullet's like a Stephen King thing, and it is like a small town, and there are werewolves, but I don't think it's Silver Bullet you're thinking about.
Dang it, no, it's on. I think it's on Hulu.
That could be any number of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Show.
Right?
no,
I've seen on Hulu.
it's gonna be a while before I find it. I might find it later.
Werewolves Within.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. I think it's Werewolves Within. Yeah, it's Werewolves Within.
Okay,
Yeah, that one's actually kind of funny. I saw that one.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm probably not doing anything tomorrow.
That's what I was gonna say too. I'll probably check it out too. I ain't got nothing planned next couple days.
All right, I think I got a good question for us to end on, maybe,
Okay.
but we might have already answered it. So
Sydney Sweeney, Sabrina
even if she
Carpenter.
has teeth,
Even if she has, I will sacrifice. It's Sabrina Carpenter right now too, because she kind of fun.
what is the first horror movie you guys remember watching in theaters? Because
Ooh.
sometimes that adds to it. Like,
In theaters.
yeah,
Theaters,
That's a good question.
dude. I was like 25. I was 25 when I saw a horror movie in theaters.
Dude, okay, wait. I think I connect. It was Saw 2, and it was because our sister wanted to watch it, but she didn't want to go by herself. But you couldn't get in unless you were 18, and I wasn't 18 because it was an R-rated movie. So she had to bring me into the movie. So yeah, I saw it with her at the theater. So yeah, I honestly think that might have been the first horror movie I saw in theaters, only because the rest of them are rated R. I couldn't go by myself.
I kind of have a similar story, but not quite. Like, when I saw this movie, the theater didn't give a shit, so I could have gone into a rated R movie and they wouldn't have said shit. But I went to go watch this movie only because it was PG-13 and it was The Haunting.
Oh,
Okay.
It was released as a PG-13 movie, and I think like The House on Haunted Hill came out like a little bit before or a little bit after, and I ended up watching both because they were both PG-13. I was like, ah, all right, like, that's not. I can handle this.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
Like I said, since I don't watch, if I watch horror movies, they're at home, but I do remember this one. It's probably one of the first ones that I saw in theaters was The Messengers. Kristen Stewart.
Ooh,
The
okay.
Messengers. Kristen Stewart. Only reason I remember it is because there was a sunflower farm, and it's like they get to the house, and the house is like in the middle of fucking nowhere, and surrounded by like sunflowers. But they're like on this sunflower farm premises. They're on the sunflower farm, and this weird stuff keeps happening. They're being haunted. I mean, you want me to spoil it? I guess to try to. So basically, they think they're being haunted because soon after they move in, this guy shows up to like help them on the farm. And so it's like they're being haunted, but they're not really being haunted. They're being warned. They're like being warned because the family that used to live there, they were murdered by the guy that's helping them right now. That guy was the husband and the father, and he killed the wife and kids. And so, like, the house, in a way, is, like, trying to protect them. Yeah. Because Kristen Stewart, she keeps seeing somebody out in the middle of the fucking sunflower field. She's like, hey, who are you? Hey. And then she gets to the field and they're gone. But, yeah, that's, like, the first horror movie that I saw in theaters.
Okay, when you were describing it, I was like, wait, she was in it, but no, I realized I was confusing it for the movie The Others, which is also like very similar.
Yeah.
Even the twist is kind of similar.
By the way, like, when everybody watches or listens to this, I think that's the premise. Like, the house is, I think, trying to protect them, even though they're like haunting them. And they're like trying to protect them. I think that's what it came off to me as, because they end up catching the dad, and then the family just the ghosts just kill the dad. They just, we got you, fucker. And yeah.
For me, it would have been The Ring.
The Ring?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That was one of the first. I think that is the first movie, a horror movie I saw in theaters. Even though I've been watching horror movies since the youngest of age, I think that's the first one me and my friends went to on our own.
I think that's something that like is pretty common in like Latino households where horror movies.
Yeah. I was gonna say that earlier too. Like, our parents should not have let us watch any of these fucking movies.
I remember watching Terminator 1 in kindergarten. Like, the teachers, bro.
Bro, that's just Eagle Pass, bro. They be showing kids these random ones. Like, last year for Halloween.
They showed RoboCop the next day. Like, oh, you kids like robots?
You guys like the 80s, huh? First is Terminator, and now it's RoboCop. You know what? You guys deserve Cobra. That's what you deserve next. But, like, you know, like that, like last year for Halloween, like I was handing out candy at my job, and every little child, like every kid, was some kind of horror icon, whether it be Scream, Chucky, for like just anything to do with horror. That's what all the costumes were. And then, you know, the parents are trick-or-treating with them. You see all the parents, and they're wearing, you know, all these old school horror shirts. I was like, that explains it. Like, that's just the way it is over here. That's what everybody's favorite thing is horror.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll defend it a little bit only because I know for sure I was like in first grade and I knew who Freddy Krueger was, but I had never seen Nightmare on Elm Street, you know. Yeah. Same thing goes with Halloween. I knew who he was. I knew who Michael Myers was, but I hadn't seen the movies. So I do think to an extent it's that I think the kids know who the characters are, but I don't think they've seen the movies. I don't think they've actually like, sat them down and
Yeah, that makes
Kinda
sense.
like,
That makes sense.
Kind of like the little girl from The Exorcist. She knew she was in the movie, but she didn't really know what it was about.
Yeah.
They're removed from it. They remove that part.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a cool character. It's like, oh, it's cool.
Kubrick, he was very protective of the kid when they were doing the Shining.
Yeah.
Like he made sure that that kid had no idea that it was a psychological horror film, and the kid had no idea, but it's because Kubrick made sure to protect them from everything.
Sees his movies.
It all to Shelley Duvall.
I wanted to see the blood elevator.
That was there. That was me.
They told me that was Kool-Aid.
Little known fact, or a lot of people might know this, but during the movie Nightmare on Elm Street, in the scene where Johnny Depp was in, where his insides get ripped out and all the blood comes pouring to the ceiling, that was built on a rotating set, and Robert Englund and the director almost got electrocuted because the blood came pouring at them and there was wiring at their feet.
Oh, no way.
They almost died during that scene.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that fact either. It's crazy.
Like I said, I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I've been watching that since I was a child. I had the box set, but my cousin stole it. Asshole.
Dang it. Can't trust your own
Right.
people.
When he goes to sleep, Freddy Krueger will get him.
Yeah, Freddy will get him for it. What was the Freddy Krueger in Rick and Morty?
Terry, scary Terry.
Give him his movies back. Yeah, give him his movies back. I didn't know that. Holy crap. I do, like I tell JJ and Juan, like I do enjoy, like I may not like horror movies and I really aren't super into the genre, but I do enjoy like all the behind the scenes. I like a lot of I'm a lore person. I really enjoy the lore. So like,
have I got the movie for you, Paco?
God, what is it?
13th Ghost.
I still haven't seen it. But I do read some of the lore, and also I'm a fan of Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Of Monk. So I'll probably end up checking it out one day, maybe.
Yeah.
That one's on my rotation, but not as much as other movies, though. But I do watch that one.
Yeah, but I do like the lore. I like the behind the scenes. I like, watching them make this and that and all the makeup and the stuff that they do whenever they do practical effects. I really enjoy that about horror because they put so much hard work into it. And really, horror movies are kind of the only ones nowadays that still deal with a lot more practical effects than their other counterparts. It's like, I think it's really hard to CGI a lot of like any really horror elements, especially when you're coming to slasher films or stuff that really has to be physical and be there to give it that edge and that feeling of spookiness or scaredness to it.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to aliens.
All right. And I think on that note, it's fair to say we will wrap things up here.
Wrap it up, guys.
Yep. So
not just the
we
show,
wanna
but
thank-
your private.
we want to
So
thank.
nobody follows you.
And let's thank Joe for joining us and
Thanks for
guest.
I've been trying to get on here with y'all for a while. Every night, like
know.
at least every other month, I'll be like, when are y'all gonna record? And he's like, I don't know yet. I'm like, cool, just let me know. I'm like, take your time, let me know. And I got other things that I got going on all at the same time. So I'm like, whenever there's a day, I will try my hardest to make it.
It's because we had a lot of this recent summer for us has been super busy with like a lot of family stuff. That was really the reason we weren't consistent. But before we even end, Joe, plug your stuff, plug your socials and your site and everything. You got to plug that.
Oh yeah. You can find me on TikTok, Spotify, Amazon, Facebook, and it's all gonna be Joe Rios 28 or Spooky Mysteries.
As spooky or just spooky?
It's spooky. Gotta have that E.
You gotta have the E. Add the Mexicanness to it.
Yeah.
The E and when Mexicans add E to any of the words, I feel like that's just like they add limon to the tacos. If you add spooky, it's because like Mexicans adding limon to everything. Yeah, no, it's great.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Joe. You are the true alpha. There it is.
There it is. The first of the merch.
There we go. Yes.
Actually, I got a notification that someone else bought it.
Oh, all right. There we go.
There we go. It's begun. It's begun.
Dollar bills.
Dollar bills.
I think it's just $1 at this point.
$1 is $1. You just put that in a frame like Mr. First says spooky dollar.
First. But yes, and as always, true alphas are our audience for tuning in and watching. So let us know in the comments what you thought about our horror movies. Do you have any other horror movies that you want to recommend, shout out, whatever? Just let us know. We'd love
In
to
the
hear
comments,
about it.
yes.
Yep. And as always, we will catch you all on the next one.
Laters.
Peace.
Stay swooped, everybody.
Later.